Now, the funny thing about those puzzles and my children, they would open the puzzle up when we got to the hotel, and they would see it in 1,000 pieces or whatever it was, and they would never break out in tears that it was broken. I mean, they realized that's how puzzles come. They're in a bunch of pieces. When they poured it out on the table and they saw this pile, and then they looked at the box top, and here's what it's supposed to look like, and here's what it really looks like, they weren't disillusioned. I mean, they recognized there was a task to be done, and there needed to be some assembling, and they knew in time, they had a confidence it soon would look like the box top. Yeah, there was frustration that they had, especially as little kids trying to piece together a 1,000-piece puzzle. But they were confident that what they couldn't do, Mom and Dad could do. They knew that we would get it done, and we were much more apt and skilled to put it together, so they didn't despair. They knew that soon we'd be posing next to a completed picture. You know, there is a day coming for Christians that reminds me of that scene. A day when we will pose, if you will, next to a picture, a completed picture, an assembled picture of life as it ought to be. I mean, that's the opposite of the definition of sin, life as it ought to be. There's going to be a time when the world is, and everything in it, including you and me, in our lives, in our bodies, in our relationships, human government, all these things are going to be turned over to God, and they're going to be assembled in just the way they ought to be. In the words of the Old Testament prophet, every valley is going to be lifted up, every mountain made low. The crooked is going to be made straight, and the rough places are going to be made plain and smooth. And then here's the reason, the next phrase of that Isaiah 40 quote, because the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all flesh will see it together. That's not just a hope of some return after the Babylonian captivity. This is not some minor occurrence, even if it's a major national occurrence. We're talking about a global occurrence when all flesh, all created beings will see it. And here's this great confident statement, and then I love the last line of that verse. It says, the mouth of the Lord has spoken. It's going to happen. You can be confident in this. What's broken, fixed. What's crooked, straight. Whatever's rough and not level and plain and smooth, it will be. It's going to be. God's going to show up and He's going to fix it. And you can be sure of it because the mouth of the Lord has spoken.